Good morning, it's John Neal here. It's Tuesday the 19th of May 2026. Can you see me underneath here? Hello. And yeah, we're going on holiday just till Tuesday to Saturday. And we're going to Scotland. And today we are going all the way to Inverness, which is 62 miles away on the train.
Ground floor. Doors opening, lift going up.
Spoiler alert, wish us luck, we're going to need it. So off we go, Nuneaton to Crewe, actually on a slightly earlier train so we could have lunch, and then from Crewe to Edinburgh, Inverness. What could go wrong? So we get off the train, they say the word alight. Anyway, got off and went and waited for the Avanti train to Edinburgh, which was late. Crewe railway station. Quite a big place this as well, and very old as well. Look at all this ironwork.
For your own safety, you are reminded to stand behind the yellow line.
We ended up on platform 12, which is a bit ominous look. Anyway, the Avanti train coming in was 20 minutes late, and by the time we got on it, it didn't leave for another 40 minutes. So this is a whole hour out of sync of what we were trying to do. Well, at least it was an Avanti train with first class. So here we are, look, first class, on we go. Right, jolly good. Unfortunately, because of the changes of the schedule on these trains, we ended up sitting next to the toilet. At least Margaret got a seat. I was sitting on my case for a moment, which was very uncomfortable, so I ended up sitting on the floor. Okay, I'm sitting on my case here, but eventually it was so uncomfortable it was better to sit on the floor. Look, I'm close to first class, I'm just not in it. Anyway, we got as far as Carlisle and the announcement came through, everybody's got to get off. We're now in Carlisle and this one's terminated here as well, so don't know where we go next, got to wait and see. It's now 4:47. Well, we eventually got onto another Avanti train, which are very quick, but it was an hour late. So this finally did get us into Edinburgh. And here are the intrepid travellers finally on the last stage from Edinburgh to Inverness. First class admittedly, but 3 hours late. That didn't show that some of it was in the dark as well. Anyway, here we are, Palace Hotel, Inverness, and we spent our first night there of 2. This is the Royal Highland Hotel next to the railway station in Inverness, and this stairway is the one that the Titanic stairway is modelled on. The high streets in Inverness are littered with tweed shops, Harris tweed, Highland tweeds, kilts and all sorts. Well, there's day 2. Day 1 was just getting here, which is a bit of a mission. Anyway, here's the hotel. The Palace Hotel in Inverness. Next to the river. Well, actually, it's more of an inlet than a loch. And today we're off to Isle of La Coche, across to the west coast. Very nice too. And it's now 11 in the morning. It's always fascinating getting up first thing in the morning when it's been dark when you arrive. Anyway, here we are. And as you can see, the weather was lovely, and we made our way across the bridge off towards the railway station. Introducing our lovely guide Stephen, pulled out of retirement and doing a great job for us all. So this trip was west from Inverness to Kyle of Lacoche, where you can clearly see this beautiful bridge going over to the Isle of Skye. And Stephen's filling us in with the story of how you got round the toll.
There was a toll. However, one of the let-outs of a toll is that if you had a sheep in your vehicle, or sheep, and suddenly people with the most ordinary of cars had a sheep sitting in front of, and some of them were real. And then when the Scots government took it over, it was the toll.
We were also told that Sir Michael Palin said that one of the best views in Europe from a hotel was this one. Then the return trip to Inverness was a sheer delight, with beautiful scenery and very pleasant company. On our return to the town of Inverness, we had time to have a stroll around. Right, back to the hotel, dinner. I might fly the drone. Look at that, I have to say castle. I'm not quite sure what it is, I'll find out. In fact, it is Inverness Castle, but built in the 19th century, so some people think it's not really important. Still in Inverness. It is Thursday, 21st of May. And we are going over to the hotel, which is over there. We'll be there at 1 o'clock. We're going there now, it's early, it's a couple of hours ago, but a bit worn out just trooping around the town. The art gallery here in Inverness, very interesting. Yeah, and then we're off to Fort William this afternoon, staying 2 nights there. Bit of chaos regarding the trip back home because there's railway strikes. But before we go, time for a selfie. Then the next leg of the journey is from Inverness past Loch Ness onto Fort William near Ben Nevis. And this part of the tour was on a bus. And here at Urquhart Castle, they even have a piper. So here we have Loch Ness. It's 23 miles long, one of the most famous lochs in Scotland. It's not all that wide, and there's no monster in it really. The best way of looking at Ben Nevis, by the way, is probably from this distance as we approach Fort William. Here we are going down the high street in Fort William. Lots of coffee shops and one bike shop over there is quite nice. But lots of tartan and wool and hikers out hiking around. But apart from that, not much happening. Anyway, we're off to Mallaig later this morning to on the train. Should be the steam train, but it's not operating, so change of plan there. Name for a pub. Then you've got the gift shops. Look, you can hire a kilt for 79 quid. Highland cattle, Scottish shortbread, and there's woolly jumpers and the ubiquitous tartans. Wonderful. Well, it is a train tour, so here we are at Fort William railway station. Well, unfortunately the steam train was out of order, but the scenery was fantastic, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. That's the one. And here is the famous Glenfinnan viaduct that features in the Harry Potter film, where they fly over it on their way to Hogwarts in a Ford Anglia car. Well, here you can see on the map where Mallaig is, and from there you can see over towards the Isle of Skye and Rum and Egg. Strange names. We have to be honest, Mallaig is not a big tourist attraction, and in fact once the trains have gone, the various cafes and hotels must be almost deserted. It's a working port, there are fishing boats and ferries, but it's not an attractive place really. It's a stopping off to go elsewhere, to the beautiful and epic countryside which surrounds it. Here's a ferry coming in here. They go all over to the islands, even out to the Outer Hebrides, which is wonderful. But that's it. It is what it is. And for me, coming from the Midlands, the only boats I generally see are on canals. So to see these proper fishing boats doing a job of work in these harbours is a bit of a treat. Oh, it's time for another selfie. I think that's the Isle of Skye in the background. And finally we have a, you wouldn't believe it, moment. These seagulls are actually nesting right next to the track in the railway station. That's nuts. And finally our wonderful guide Stephen Smith found us a good timetable to get back from Glasgow all the way to Nuneaton in record time. So big thanks to him, and thanks for watching.